You did not give me the warning. Hi, I'm Susan Cooney, your art Sherpa, and I guess we're editing this video. This is live. Today I'm going to show you how to paint this really fantastic goldfish. On the mic today, it was theoretically my husband John who's supposed to let me know what's happening.
I was supposed to do some stuff, but it happened. Buttons got pushed.
Buttons got pushed while I was putting out paint. That's cool. So I teach painting to people like you at home. I'm going to show you guys how you can paint this adorable goldfish. And yes, this is a good painting for a brand new painter like you. So if you're, new to painting or just need a relaxing paint on a Saturday, this is a really good one to do. Say hi, John.
Hello, guys.
John's going to be reading your comments, and this is live, so if you're here for the live, feel free to ask questions, ask painting questions. I'm really happy to answer them. I'm going to show you every step of how this is created. Let's look real fast at our materials so we know what we're using today. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure where we're going.
John is not. It's a weird day for John. All right, so I've got some phthalo blue, some phthalo green, some titanium white, some cad red light, some cad yellow medium, some dioxazine purple. You can always find those materials in the description below. I probably will be using some acrylic glazing liquid gloss at some point, but you can also just use water. I like this because it slows down the drying time of my paint and allows me to glaze. I've got jars of water for my acrylic paint. I have a 9x12 canvas board. These are pre-gessoed. You don't got to do another thing to start painting on it. And an awesome bucket of brushes behind me that's in this weird new location that I'm going to be using on this. And these are all for acrylic painting, and you want brushes for acrylic painting. Wow. It's a weird day.
It's a weird day.
Okay. I'm going to keep putting my paint out.
So today we're going to be, I've got a picture of him today. We're going to be doing, this is Gil, right?
Gil was actually part of Galactic Soul and was so liked by everybody.
There he is.
Right? That I'm going to put out my CAD later because I don't need it all right away.
Yeah. And
I want to just be working my colors here for the underpainting. Yeah. Let's do our wishes.
Oh, good. We have lots of wishes in there.
So on our live days, we like to have wishes that you guys send us to the forum on theartsherpa.com, and we like to put those on the canvas and paint over those and hopefully send some positivity into the universe out there to, improve the overall vibes of the world. And we had a lot of wishes. Mm-hmm. And the first wish I found was a wish for Speedy the cat to feel better.
Oh, yeah.
There was a pouring of wishes coming in for Sweden and Syria, and I kind of wanted to take that and say, listen, this is our wish for the whole world. Peace and harmony and safety just for the whole world.
Absolutely.
Just everybody. Everybody's children all around the world, safe and sound. I want that for everyone. Kim's friend lost a spouse, and she's just wishing for some strength for her. Wendy's little brush needs some great doctors, some super smart doctors. Karen could use some relief from lupus and support. And I want to add, autoimmune illnesses are a real struggle because sometimes people don't look sick and they don't look like they're struggling as much as they are, and it's hard to get support. So I'm going to wish that she has a support system of people around her who really get it. My husband has Crohn's, and so we totally understand that. Little brush Christian, he needs some speedy healing and fast healing for a leg for Amy. And then, of course, if you guys don't know this, this is Autism Awareness Month.
Yeah.
So if you're anywhere on the spectrum, my wish for you is that the world just gets it and lets you do you. And they come on board to your experience. That would be my wish for everyone living on the spectrum, is that the people around you get an even better tool set for understanding who you are and how you see the world uniquely and specially, and it's an important part of how our planet comes together. Because if we all saw the world the same way, it would be a weird episode of Twilight Zone, for those of you that remember that show.
We have a huge crowd of people here with us today.
Do we?
Yeah, and there's so many wishes coming in. Please, 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 guys, don't forget to go out to the artsherpa.com, onto our forums. You can put your wishes in out there, and all of our light keepers can catch those because we just can't catch all of them on the shows. But our light keepers definitely grab those and put them in their paintings. And if you want to grab a wish and put it in your painting and be a light keeper, we would appreciate that.
All right, I'm going to throw this background in. So the background is super easy to do. The thing to think about when you're doing it is that we're going to be darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. I'm going to show you my favorite kind of ocean color of blue, deep water blue. But honestly, this works with almost any range of blues, so you use the paint that you have at home. I'm going to mix up a large batch with this cool little plastic, inexpensive palette knife. And the reason I like to do that, mix up this large amount first, right, where I get my little oceanic color, is that way I have a nice amount for the blend. And also for my bubbles. It's sort of like all pre-done up. So it's 1-to-1 blue and phthalo blue and phthalo green. What?
Pushing the wrong buttons. So sorry, everybody. They're all seeing little things flash on the screen.
Having a day.
We are.
You guys ever had just a weird day? You got like Gremlins in the house. Anybody remember Gremlins? That's a movie I really don't want them to remake.
We just want the Mogwai.
That's all I want. Just don't feed that thing. All right, so I'm going to wipe this off. When I have a good amount of it mixed up together, then I've got my nice color. You could also just, if you have Southern Ocean Blue in your palette, feel free to use that. I'm going to get my brush wet, and I'm going to drag off the extra water. Now, here's the trick on this that you might not know as a new painter. This is a number 30 bright. I like a bright because it's a shorter length from the ferrule out. It makes it a little bit stiffer. And you want your acrylic brushes to be synthetic and stiff. Stiff enough to push the paint around. And you also don't want them to soak in. See how that's just damp but not sopping? You don't want them to soak in the water. Right? So that's what you're looking for. No matter what brush you have, you're looking for a brush that doesn't overpool in water and has enough strength to push the paint around. And anything really over, this is a ruby satin, but anything over an inch will work for this. Right? So my stiff white nylon brushes will work for this. This ruby satin will work. I've just dipped a little bit. See, not a lot of water. But enough to improve flow. If you have golden glazing liquid, you can use that instead of water. Which I really love that stuff. Got a brand new bottle today on my haul because I had emergency art supplies that I had to get. That. So the new packaging is out. I was very excited. I was exclaiming about that in the aisle as I'm rushing to get back for the show, which is why I think we're off rhythm.
Yeah,
I'm just adding another little coat. I want this to be deep and dark.
It's very because light doesn't travel through water very well.
No, it really doesn't, and that's the effect that you really got to start making in your water is the fact that the light isn't going to travel very well.
So
now I'm going to get my brush wet, drag off the extra water, and it also takes away a little bit of my pigment. So then when I come into the white, see how it already has lightened it?
Yeah.
Look at that. Nice little bit of paint on there. Acrylic paint blends just like oils when it's wet, right? So if you're going, you want to make sure that you're not trying to blend two spots of dry acrylic paint together. You're wanting to blend wet into wet.
Gotcha, and that's why that glazing medium helps.
The glazing medium makes it not dry as quickly. The golden glazing medium, Liquitex glazing medium is a different product. Always read your bottles because sometimes they're called similar things, and they're not. It's a big fun game we play at the art store called What Is This?
Well, you know,
so I'm just creating that nice little blend there. I'm going to do the same thing. Get my brush wet, drag off the extra, right, and grab a little more white. Each time I'm coming up, less of this awesome blue pigment is on the brush, and so see how I'm making this nice ombre?
I do.
This is if you painted this.
Whoop! You painted that brush, painted the canvas right off
the canvas.
The passion in that brush stroke. You just blew the canvas right off.
I did. So nice little ocean light coming down.
But
again.
Is this why you have the little clampy thingies to hold your canvas on there?
Yeah, but my clampy thing makes it so that the thing can't really.
It's like the industrial jaws of life. It just clamps on and isn't going to let go.
So I'm just adding white and see how each time it's just getting lighter? So as I'm going up, it'll get quite bright up to the top. And that's what you're looking for.
Gotcha.
And that's how you get that nice water effect. And this will work for any of your water stories that you want to tell. This is the basic thing. We have a big art quest on how to do water.
We do.
And it's got a secret surprise tutorial in it.
You know what's interesting?
I don't know why I put cookies in my lessons, because you think I'd want to have them out there for discovery.
We are at our new Sherpa number already. Did you know that?
Hey,
we totally hit it.
Guess what this is?
What is this?
This is the Bubble Party song.
Is this the new Bubble Party song?
Where's my bubbles?
Now, this was done by one of our own community members. Did you know that?
I did.
So that was this is from Mike, and he on our community he goes by Max Moxie, Monkey. There we go, Max Monkey. And so I have to say thank you for him for sending in the music. We've got more from him coming soon, so thank you very much. Really appreciate that. I think that's cool. But
I literally ran out so we could have a bubble party today with this new song and our bubbles. Texas snowflakes.
But it's awesome. We have a huge community of people here with us. We've got over 400 people here. Thank you guys for coming and joining us. Really, really love having you guys, especially when we put the bubbles out all over the stuff, you know.
Yeah. Not really good for your paint, but it's not going to hurt me it is making my mat slippery.
For your background. It adds a neat bubble texture to your...
It adds a neat bubble texture. Is soap good for acrylic paint? No, not really, but you know.
But we like to dance.
Joy has a value too, right?
Yeah.
And we like to dance, and honestly, I love my bubble party song. I can just play that the whole time. I'm going to dry my canvas so I can paint my underwater bubbles on here and draw in my goldfish.
Well, while she's doing that, guys, I'm going to say thank you for coming and hanging out with us. You know, we love this, seeing you guys out here, and I always love seeing such a big crowd. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, share, social media buttons, all those kinds of things. Those are the great ways that you can let us know that you enjoyed what you're seeing, what you're doing. Don't forget to go out to theartsherpa.com. Check out everything that's going out there. We've got our chat, our community, our forum pages, all that kind of fun stuff. Always going on out there, and of course we love to see your paintings. That's the most fulfilling thing for me, is when I get to see Cinnamon, when we get to see all the paintings that you guys do, and when you post those up online. You know, totally love seeing all that, Kat. So so you guys, so many wonderful comments. Thank you. Hi from Mumbai. Hi everybody. So we've got people from all over the world joining us today. It's just been really nice.
So I'd like to say, I don't know if it looks as blue to you at home as it does to me on my monitor, because it looks like it's matching my shirt, but it's actually quite a green.
Yeah, it's you can see it's more of a greeny.
Oh, okay, on my monitor it's like deep blue.
Yeah, greens and blues are so tough to catch. You know, there's some of those areas. So what are we going to do next year, Sherpa?
So we're going to sketch in our gill. Now, if you are not a drawer, it's still pretty easy to draw him in because he's kind of a circle and a triangle. So this might be a good risk to take at this time. But if you're like, hey, no, this is a really important painting, I have a whole reason for making it, we have a traceable. That was donated by Janine G.
Yes.
So look the wrench and say, thank you, Janine. And so you can use that to trace this on, but I'm going to freehand gill in.
Yeah.
Now, what I love about these fish is that their bodies are basically really fat little round balls. Mm-hmm. So when I'm sketching them in, I'm going to come just below the halfway point a little bit and over 3 fingers to make a nice little round ball. Mm-hmm. He's going to have a round ball, and that's his body. See?
Yep.
Just a little ball. And now his little face, though, is a lot of fun. His little face comes forward in a triangle. And then what I like is that he's got just a smidge of this sort of like little funny mouth. And then little gills that come around. See how his belly's still rounded out underneath it? Then he's got a little eye. And another little eye. I just like to draw those in. I'm going to actually probably paint him out. And then right off his back, I actually put his center line just slightly off so his face could be a little bit in perspective. But the little tail comes off here and then comes and joins his body right there. See that? Then you can come and be like, oh no, fancy fins. Give him fancy fins. He's a fancy fin fish. Right? And I like to give him a little fin peeking out here. And then another one right there. And then I know he's got one coming off his back and a little bit right there. So I just sort of let myself know that those are there. This lets me start putting in my bubbles. Oh, I painted around the edge of my canvas again. This is a thing I do. I get enthusiastically painting, and that paint doesn't get dry. All right, so to draw in my bubbles, Here's the deal with the bubbles underwater. They're really affected by forces and currents and all kinds of things, and they're very unusual shape.
And they do weird stuff.
They do. And so people a lot of times will want to make them round, and if that's your aesthetic style, go for it. But I like the weirdness of the underwater bubble. So generally I try to make these little amoeba shapes. And this first one, he's my focal bubble. So I make that one big. Then I make one over here to the right that's a little bit smaller. Also not a perfectly round shape. But then to throw it all off, I do one that's a little more round, because that also happens. And then my mom liked this, so I'm going to keep this one here, because she felt this bubble looked like an upside down heart that I hid in there. And I was like, well, I'll let that one go. Another little kind of round one. And maybe a little round one, but not perfectly round. See how we're doing? And then we'll make one of our little kidney beans. And these are going to be trailing up here as I'm going. And I'm using, this is, just so y'all know what I'm using, a charcoal white pencil by Generals. These are inexpensive pencils. They're charcoal white, so they disappear. Why you take, oh, did you make me coffee? I love you.
I did make you coffee.
I really love you. Thank you.
I
was out of all my canvases, so I had to run out this morning in a rush to get packs and packs of canvases, and then I realized I was out of phthalo green, and then it was just like this whole emergency run, and then, you know, the kids want cookies, and then it's this big panic before the show. So, I'm a little, woohoo! As I'm coming up here, when I get up into this space, the bubbles are going to get a lot smaller because this is perspective, and they're distant, right? So even if it were a big bubble, it would be very small going far away. And once I know where those are, I can make my bubbles. And in Galaxy, Galactics, what happened? Did you crimp my Dogs in Purple just now? Or did it just explode? Hello? I'm alone. I'm alone. Did you just crimp a couple paints?
I did.
Okay, because it just exploded.
Oh, no. That was, I set a trap, is what that was.
You said, I can't get the cat back on.
It's a trap.
You know what I have over here from an earlier project?
Oops.
However, do I have all these Q-tips? I can't imagine.
So you're going to show them the squinky machine that I used.
It's right, like all over me now. It's like, it's a good thing I'm not allergic to any of my colors, because, woo, I'd be like hiving up right now.
It's over here somewhere.
Okay. So there's this crimping machine, and it's in general pretty good. Okay. So these are in general pretty good, but if you over crimp, you get what just happened to me. This is way more purple than I need. I'm going to just sort of use this Q-tip that I fortuitously, for no reason, no reason at all, have it in my easel. If you're brand new here, you're like, why is she being completely spazzy about Q-tips? Well, check out my channel, because other stuff is afoot. I'm going to take a little of my dark blue. I'm going to pull it over to the side over here. I don't want to take all of it because it's my mid-tone. But I'm going to add some dioxazine to it. See how I do that?
Some of the exploded dioxazine.
Some of the exploded dioxazine, which luckily is not a level 9 color. Otherwise it'd be like...
Although that big tube of yellow was.
Has anyone like taken their palette knife and tried to get their cadmium back in the tube? Going like, I can't swing the real cadmium oozing out. So this gives me a very dark shadow color, which helps me in my low bubbles.
Well, I missed what you're... Okay.
What? What did we miss?
No, nothing.
I think I'm going to need another bubble party to just reset from the explosion.
You just need more bubble?
I'm really glad I had Q-tips.
I think that somewhere I have... There's music. See, we have bubble music.
Don't let it get you down. Your paint explodes, just keep painting. Something goes crazy, your coffee spills, just keep painting. You put paint in your coffee, just keep painting. Bubbles are going in your coffee, drink your coffee.
I should probably back up the bubble storm so it's not like the tsunami bubble.
It really is. Like, look at me. I don't even need shampoo to wash no more.
It's some bubble time, though. But, you know, guys, it's Cinnamon and I
You
just
gotta
love
have
having
some
you guys.
fun.
It's just nice to have you guys with us. And the reason we love doing all this stuff is just to remember to that we're alive here, having fun with each other, and painting's just what we're luckily able to do together. So, thank you for joining us.
I'm going to use a number 4 round. See this number 4 round? So this, if you're ever trying to know what's going on with your brush, look for the number here. There's the type of brush it is. This is a Bristlon. And I like this round because it holds a beautiful tip and also has incredible spring.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get my dark color here. And I will pull my glaze into, that's gack. You got to take the gack away or I'm going to gack my painting. I have pouring medium over here for possible pours. And the new, I just keep mixing them all up.
That's okay.
Well, I'm just saying, it's, gack would not be ideal.
It won't do what you're looking for.
It will do another really cool thing, but not this thing.
Yeah.
Not this thing. So I have this dark color. When you do water bubbles, drops, anything, where the light's coming from, actually there's a shadow at the back, and then it creates a lens and casts a light out the front, and a little shadow up here. And knowing that pattern lets you do realistic bubbles.
Hold on, let me get that bubble in there.
Very, very easily. Very, very easily. So I'm going to paint a little shadow at the back of this bubble. See what I've done? It's kind of in a curve, a convex. And I'm going to come here to its friend and paint a little shadow, and he'll have a convex shadow. And it's when you put the highlights and the shadows on raindrops, on bubbles, on anything. We've done a lot of study on rain. And a lot of study on, I have a how to do a water drop in 10 steps. 10 easy steps. There are 10 of them and they are easy. They really are. But it'll help you understand all water droplets whenever you have to paint them on wine glasses or just anywhere you have to add them. And then when you know, the more you can paint.
You know what I think is really interesting? To me, when you're painting bubbles underwater, they look a lot like when you're painting water on glass.
They're exactly like.
It's just, it's kind of like air bubbles underwater act like water bubbles in air.
Yep. And the only thing that we've got to do is paint some actual bubbles so I can show everybody how actual bubbles are a little different than these kinds of bubbles. These have more in common with water drops.
Because they're diffraction of different density mediums.
Thank you. Yes. So I'm going to hit my kidney here, and I'm on the back side of my kidney. Notice that it's just kind of, I just dipped a little bit in water. So when I'm loading a round brush, I like to go round, round, round. I like to roll and then load the tip. Load the tip. Now here's the trick. If you have a lot of hand control, you can paint a fairly big brush through your whole painting. If you don't, as soon as you start to feel like you're not getting control over your result, you're going to need to switch to a smaller brush.
Now, if you're using student paints, should you block in the fish and the bubbles in white first?
The bubbles, no. The student paints will actually help you out there.
Oh, yeah?
The fish, yes.
The fish, yes.
Yeah, because the bubbles actually benefit themselves in a glaze.
Oh, okay.
So if your paint's slightly transparent, if you think of student paints as glazes, like very, kind of almost like a gelato,
yeah,
you're brilliant. You can have a great time. And that's why really great artists sometimes will use a student paint because all the paints are transparent. And they're trying to paint in glazes.
Interesting. Now, Amanda was asking, why are you starting from the bottom rather than the top, like you have in the past?
I don't know what Amanda's asking.
You started painting at the bottom of the painting and working your way up instead of stopping at the top, working your way down.
Oh, because this is a very transparent color.
Yeah.
And is easily overwhelmed by the white. So the hardest part of the color to preserve is the dark.
Oh, okay.
That is 100% why. I'm going to rinse out all the purple from my brush.
Oh. All right, so
that's a really good question.
Interesting.
So in general, the dark is the easiest for me to hold because the paint has a high opacity and it has high tinting strength. But phthalo green and phthalo blue have a low opacity and a low tinting strength. So if I'm going to use them to make a very aquatic setting, I have to make a plan that the weakest color is put in first because, you know, titanium white, especially pro titanium white, it's all the way over on the far side of the bar.
Gotcha.
It's at high forte alto.
Very, very.
No matter what language you're in, it means tinting. Oh. So, and the phthalo is not as good.
So I think
And then the green is even less.
She was also asking why you started with the bottom bubble instead of the top bubble.
It's my biggest bubble.
Oh, you just was that just a random? Or?
No. I mean, it's like I just wanted to think about how that shape went in.
Oh, okay. So
The
it was just
longest.
you were considering it the most.
I was considering it the most. So I'm going to take the base color that I had down there. I'm going to add just a smidge of white to it. A smidge, and even a little glazing medium. And I'm going to come right here. And I'm going to paint in my glaze. My glaze, y'all. See, it's a bit like the color behind it, just a smidge off. And you may even want to grab like some of the color behind it right here. Just grabbing this pure color. Because what you're doing is you're shading out your water bubble. Right? And now I'm going to wipe off my brush because I don't want too much pigment on there. And I'm going to grab some white. And I'm going to come at the front. I need it to be a little more aqua than that though. Too much pigment wiped off. This is the thing. You don't want it to be totally white because you've got to do a highlight up front. But much lighter. See? I'm going to come around the side here. This also tells the viewers something about the shape of my water.
It does?
Yep.
What is it saying?
Like that it's not like a perfectly round sphere. These uneven lines make it seem like a wobbly bubbly.
Oh, yeah.
Technical term.
Wobbly bubbly.
Wobbly bubbly. Let me tell you, I was talking about art school with Janine this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we were laughing about different things in art school. And I have to tell you, what does not get you huge respect is using terms like, what are you doing, Miss Cooney? I'm working on my wobbly bubblies.
I just put a scotch of paint on there.
Actually, it probably wasn't Miss Cooney at the time. It was another last name. But you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm just kind of blending these. See, so I have that nice little, you can rinse out if you feel like you've lost a little of your dark in the back. Just come back with your dark purple.
Now, what size brush are you using right now?
This is a number 4 round.
Gotcha.
It's nice to have a round or two around. I love me a bright. See, not nice? I like it. So when I feel like I've done a good job there, I'm going to come in, grab some of my green right here. Blending these two ranges together. Then I'm going to get some of my lighter color. Lightening that up. It is amazing how when they're all seen together, get some really, really light. Right up here. Look at that. Light reflection happening right there.
Oh.
I will offload my brush and grab some of my dark color. I'm sort of overlaying these two. You can kind of see the overlay. I'm going to grab some of my lighter color and just right at the front. When I come back with the highlight, that is when it all pops.
Like Ruby Rod. Pop, pop, pop.
Pop, pop, pop. I know, I can't say pop without ever thinking of Ruby Rod. So then I'm just going up and I'm highlighting. Bring some white over to your mix over here to make sure you've got your light color. You can add some of your glazing medium to it if you have it to slow its drying time. Tip. Tip. So I'm going to grab some of my green, add a smidge of my white to it. I'm just coming up. I'm going to do a couple of these just to create the values. Now let's get some of our light color. See, light, 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 light. Light, 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 light. You can add bubbles to every painting. As we're coming up, though, we're going to really need to lighten some of these bubbles because their background is so much lighter. See?
Mm.
Come right there and put that light one in. Still don't want it to be white, white, white because I have to put the highlight on there. I'm just painting in the values of my bubble.
So everyone's kind of wondering where Kevin the Kraken might be on this painting.
Well, I hear Gil is related to Kevin. I'm going to take off this owl.
Somebody was saying that
Aggravate me.
his second cousin removed once by marriage or something.
But Bob was like not, and that's why Bob didn't make the painting.
Yeah, he had to.
Bob had to go, man. He was causing trouble. He was crashing on the couch. He was causing all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Yep. I'm going to get some more white because I'm coming up here. And you can see, enjoying those bubbles. Aren't those fun?
Mm-hmm.
You can even come here and add some of that brighter white when you have it. I'm just dashing a little bit of that there. I'm shading them out. It's shading them out that makes them work. Every once in a while, I'll rinse off to reset. Right, like I'm going to reset some of this aqua because up top, my dark aqua would not necessarily be as dark as my down low aqua.
You just are. You're giving RoboCam all sorts of trouble today.
I am. I'm giving everybody trouble today. So I'm just adding this mid-tone here. See?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to come right in my white. Right into my white. And let's add a little of that white. I'll wipe off. And I'm going to grab white.
Pure white. You going down at the bottom again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on, I gotta go down there.
And I'm gonna stair step up all my bubbles with my white.
Okay, I'll go watch you do that.
So let's put a little reflection there. Maybe a little curve line, a dash. Look at that. I'm gonna come around the front with just a little bit of this white lining. And this is key, on the back side. That. Let's go along the front. Soft lining. Very fine line. Reflection right here because I pushed this bubble forward. So that would be, if the light was coming in the back, that's where its apex would be. Haha. So what you're doing is you're basically painting underwater lenses. Those bubbles. Aren't they easy? We could spend forever making bubbles.
I like the bubbles.
Actually, I think one of the prettiest things in the world, one of the prettiest paintings in the world, is big giant canvases of just underwater bubbles and nothing else. People will always be like, I need that art. It speaks to me.
They're like, they think that Gil is a little gassy.
Gil's gassy?
Well, the bubbles.
Well, I think we don't see who's being gassy.
Maybe
I think that's Kevin.
Yeah, it's probably Kevin being gassy. He's
Gil's
making
like,
the bubbles.
dude, come on, dude. Don't do it, dude.
I used to think that the sounds were trapped in the bubbles, so you could hear them when they'd come up to the surface.
Did you really?
When I was little, because
That's
I saw it on a
the
cartoon.
sweetest thing.
So it just made me think about, like, in this cartoon world, all of little Kevin's sounds floating up to the surface.
So see how we're doing? We're putting a little white line to highlight the front, a reflection, and then a back reflection. And now you can see that beam of sunlight that's traveling down all these bubbles, can't you?
Yeah.
Bubbles are easy, special, and your bubbles love you. Channeling Poppy. Here we go. Two people in the room laughed. And they're like, oh my gosh, this girl watches a lot of internet. Yes, I do.
We live in the tubes.
In the tubes.
We live in the tubes where the internet
So
flows.
it's very important on the smaller bubbles to catch the white if you want them to feel like bubbles. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be your more, that is where it's like really critical if you want these top ones. And to make sure you got the reflection. And then see, they really do, don't they? Look at how bubbly those feel. That's all that takes. You can now bubble all the things like a pro. Just bubble. Okay, see, so on my screen, John, the reference photo looks completely green. And then on my thing, it looks deep, dark blue.
It does a little darker. So part of that is that, so we have 5K lights. And all I can say is that color's hard, yo.
Can I get a fresh water?
There's not a whole much to say about that.
Before I start the orange, because blue and orange are contrasts.
Yeah.
Can I get some fresh water? I meant to bring 3, but I'll drink my coffee and talk to everybody.
It's not too bad. So what are you looking for? Sorry. Oh, water. You need water.
This is a really good time to change your water before you do the goldfish. Especially if you're painting with little brushes, change water often. Because what happens is the water gets full of pigment and starts to muddy the colors.
Your screen looks bluer than it is over there.
Oh, okay.
It's just a little bit.
Okay.
It's a little more green on the other side.
I don't know what we're doing here.
It also depends. See, that color blue.
He's talking to me from the kitchen. The kitchen is back there.
To represent.
He's answering the question.
Well, I mean,
Capture and reproduce. So, yeah, when it is one of the things when you're painting is to remember to change your water often to keep your colors bright and luminant. Even though it's technically subtractive color, still sort of luminant for luminosity. I just really needed to drink some coffee. That's what that was all about.
Okay, luminous.
So my goldfish really is going to be... You crimped my cad yellow too.
I did?
Yep.
Okay, is that bad?
Yep, it exploded out.
You got some paint. I thought I was helping. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't see. I only gave them one or two little squeezes because they were looking so.
Now the mystery everyone's like, you are not doing right by your caps. Now you know what actually happens to me. Is there's a mysterious crimper?
There's a helpful someone in the studio. Show them how helpful I was though. See they're all crimped up nice.
See this one, how it's not exploding?
Yeah.
Not crimped yet. Just saying. Put out some white.
I didn't crimp that one yet.
And look.
No, wait, no, I did crimp that one. See?
But I already did the explosion part.
Oh, okay. That one's been crimped.
Yeah. So when you're crimping, I guess I'll do a video on how to crimp.
I just crimped. I over crimped is what I did.
He over crimped, and you want to. I'm so glad I had all these for some reason. For some unknown reason,
They're just laying around
I have
here.
all these bundles of Q-tips for some reason, and so thankfully I did. I'm gonna put a little more glazing medium. I don't want any of my blue to get in here because orange and blue are complementary colors, and while they do say very nice things to each other, they also gray each other out. I did tell that joke. I'm going to grab one of my black pearls. I'm going to grab a number 4 bright.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do an interesting thing. I'm going to get my brush wet, drag off the extra water, grab a little of my purple, and I'm going to add it to my cad. Now, I could add my blue.
Yeah.
But I really like the purple. I could have added even some of this color. What I'm doing is I'm trying to darken, create this shadow value in my brightest color, my red. I'm going to add a little of my glazing so it doesn't dry out on me too quick. This is like a deep brick or merlot when I'm done. And I'm going to come on my fish. And I'm going to paint the whole fish.
The whole fish?
The whole fish.
Now,
This darker color first. It's not my darkest color, but it is the darkest base color of my fish.
now that crimper only works on metal tubes, right?
No, that's not true.
No?
It will crimp and squeeze out toothpaste tubes of all different makes and models.
Oh, cool.
Frosting, any of the plastic tubes that you might have. As long as it's a tube, it will crimp it out. And a lot of the crimpers break, but that particular crimper, which is The Tube Bringer by Gill Mechanical Company of Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, it's like...
It says Gill. Gill's the only one I like.
Yes, that one you
right
could...
now.
That one would serve, like...
It's an industrial.
Yeah, seriously. It's awesome.
The problem with the other ones and some of the prettier ones and stuff is that they break. They don't crimp, they break.
Yeah, that one's just... It's metal and...
And it just crimps it.
Yeah. It will crimp anything you put in it.
Pretty much. Don't put your finger in it.
It'll just right
or your
in there.
hot dog, because you don't want a crimped hot dog. Who wants that?
No. Well, I don't know why you would have any hot dogs in your studio.
I have 3 children. I have things in my studio that don't belong here all the time that I'm just looking at going, how is this happening?
So now you were saying earlier on undercoatings, if you have student paint, you may want to do this in white.
You may want to do it in white first. You know, see how transparent your paint is, because this is about layering, and you want to get a nice layer. Now, here's my little bit when I am doing the tail. I'm going to come, so I've got the edge of my brush, so I'm going to come on the edge. I'm going to follow this S line. And then I'm going to flare it out. See that? Isn't that beautiful? Flaring. I'm just using almost the nature of the brush to create these little bits of... Look. Isn't that fun? Like Sumi ink.
Wow. Now, we always get a lot of questions about this.
How light is that? Do you love that?
That's really just sort of... You just danced
yeah,
across
I know,
that.
and you guys are going to be like, my brush isn't doing it. It may not. My brush does. My brush does things that are very lovely. You can always practice a brush stroke on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
We're going to start talking about how to brush. And when we start talking about that, I'll show how you can test the tolerances of your brushes to know what they'll do. Because that's really, as an artist, what you're looking for. So I want some of the blue to be showing through. And I sort of tell a flowy, watery story here.
Now, what brush are you using?
This is a number 4 Black Pearl Bright.
Let me go over there and look at that. Number 4 Black Pearl Bright. Now, over on your palette, what are you using to put your
Strathmore palette paper.
Okay.
You can use a polystyrene plate.
Okay, they were just asking about that. They're like, "What?"
I really like my palette paper. I started out with polystyrene plates because painting parties tend to use those, but then I realized I don't ever use those in my studio. Now I'm very light. I'm just on the corner of my brush. I want this fin to be very light, and I don't need that much of this dark color here. I'm going to bring a little bit of my color forward here. A little bit back here.
Now,
yes,
when we
the noise makes a difference. Don't even kid yourself.
When we talk about student paints or mid-grade paints or pro paints, what does exactly that mean?
The quality of the materials used to manufacture the paint and the quality of the pigments, the light fastness, the binder, all of these things.
So those all affect the cost of the paint.
They all affect the cost of the paint greatly. So how a paint company gets the cost of its paint down is it saves money in one of those areas.
And so oftentimes they call that
a student paint.
The first paint that you use, although I feel like a student should be using a pro paint because you really need like paints that don't mess with you.
Yeah, like it's so funny because I can use the student paint and get away with it because I'll do things like, oh, this is like a glaze, and I'll just glaze with it. I won't even try to do acrylic stuff with it. I'll be just like, I just use it like a glaze. Where as a student, you'll be like trying to use it like a pro paint. A lot of the tutorials are based on pro paints. Here's the deal. It's not about being a professional. They call it pro paint. But what they're saying is that our best practice as a paint manufacturer went into this product.
Right.
And that's why the prices of the tubes aren't uniform, is because, cobalt is more expensive than titanium white. Cadmium, while not dangerous particularly to you as long as you're not eating it and sticking it in your eye and your ears and, orifices, in manufacture can be. So
Yes.
the cost of that product is higher. Peril red is essentially Ferrari red. It's the most expensive red in the world.
Well, it used to be. I don't know if it is anymore.
It might not be anymore.
May not be anymore. But it's up there for sure. I mean, Peril Red's a very...
Rose madder, it's something like 13 pounds of teeny tiny bugs have to be destroyed to make rose madder. So, some things are more expensive.
So,
I'm gonna
that's very
rinse
nice.
this
We have
on
a
out
huge-
now.
Just so you know, we have a huge crowd out here
Do
with us
we?
today. Yeah, we've been right around 500 people all day. We've already got almost 400 likes, and our moderators are just doing a spectacular
I love
job
our mods.
hanging out here with us. And even some of our community was just giving them a shout out.
Aw.
And it's always nice. We just give them a little bubble love because we gotta
Bubble love for
love our-
mods. Bubble love for mods. Bubble love for moderators. Yup, yup, yup. I'm not a rapper, can you tell? I'm not a rapper, can you tell?
So thank you guys. We love you.
My daughter just felt a disturbance in the force somewhere. I'm serious. She was like on her phone and she just looked up. My cool factor has been interrupted. It's my whole purpose as her mother is to mess with her cool.
So there was a lot of questions of what
I'm doing a number 0. I'm doing my smallest bright right now. I just want a small brush that gives me a lot of control.
now there's
I'm gonna come under here. Yeah.
you have a good answer for this because there was a lot of questions from people asking what materials to buy specifically, what quality or style or make of paint and brush and stuff do I buy?
Well, here's the deal. Buy the best materials that your budget allows.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So if your budget allows an upgrade, make an upgrade. If it doesn't, you buy the best product that your budget will allow for. I'm going to bring this a little bit right here. Kind of put this shadow between the fin and this. So like I have a video on like how to set up your studio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring this shadow right here on this belly. I want to shadow the belly very deeply. So what you're going to look at is, does this paint company have a website? How long has it been in business? Do they answer their customer service line? These are the things that you're going to look for. Same with your brush companies, right? Because there's a lot of fly-by-night art companies.
And while we'll tell you the products that we use, we encourage you to check out your local art stores to find out what you
Please.
get. And the reason is because you guys are all over the world. And even in the United States, it's a big, big place. And your local art store may or may not have the same products that we use on the show. And we want you to be able to know what to get when you go
But then
in
you
there.
can talk to other artists who are standing there in the aisle looking at their
That's right.
art products.
And there's a lot of times there's really helpful people there who can, hang out and
Try out some new stuff.
learn more.
Shadow his little eyeball here. So, I mean, that's like an excellent resource. If you're lucky enough to have a local art store.
Mm-hmm.
But even still within the art store, make sure that there's a company that backs whatever product that you're buying.
Yeah.
Because acrylic paint and any paint is affected by temperature and shipping and all kinds of things. And storage and lots of nonsense. And you want somebody to be able to write if something weird happens. To talk to, who cares about you,
Yeah.
who loves you. So I'm going to make sure I have a nice little shadow at the belly that's under here.
We have a lot of people painting with us today. There's
I'm
so
so
many.
excited.
They're all telling me, I'm painting with you. They're painting in their version of Gil.
So, yeah, I do always share what I'm painting with so you guys know how I'm getting my result. But it really seriously, I cannot stress enough in art, these are not the only companies in the world.
Yeah.
There are other ones, and they are good too. I'm going to look for a weird little brush.
You're looking for your 0 signing brush? It's on the front.
No,
I
I'm
just put
looking
it in
for my new little set of filberts, but I don't know where to put all my filberts.
I don't know where you put your filberts.
I don't know either.
I
So
just
I'm going to
cleaned.
not do that. I will do... Are they washing? Where did they go?
I don't know what you do with them.
Well, here's a small one. I got a small one
Okay,
here.
there's a small brush.
You can do a small bright or small filbert. For scales, I like a filbert. This is a number 2 filbert
Why do you like a filbert for scales?
because it gives me a little scale shape.
How does it do that?
Let me show you.
Is it because of the shape of the brush?
The shape of the brush allows me to create a scale shape. So I'm going to add a little yellow to my red. My red's getting a little dirty from the purple. You can see all that happening right there. I'm going to do my first layer
Hold
of scales.
Show me that brush. I want to see the load. Okay, so that's
right? So it's on the tip here.
It's a rounded little brush.
And then I can make these little strokes. You could do this with your bright. Feel like you can. Let's see how it makes a nice little shape. I'm gonna add a little of this light color to my fin here. Maybe a little of this light color to my fin. And so it gives me a nice little experience. Just lightly go around the face with this lighter color. So a little yellow and a little of that purpley orange, but I want it to be orange. So it's almost like a burnt. It's almost burnt. I'm going to come up along here on the front of the nose. And then we're going to just brush loosely at the fin, aren't we? See that?
Yeah.
Fin-like, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's finish. Every time you do fins, they're so expressive. And I'm just going to put these little scales in. And you can get these quite small. I have some really small ones. Shaders are also really good ones, like my small shaders for doing scales. But really, this is about doing these little dash marks with a small brush, like a number 2.
Now, if you're painting along, or if you are a little brush, or you're painting along with a little brush, is this something that they're going to be able to do okay?
Yeah, man. I think probably you'll find your little brush is much calmer and cooler in this whole painting than you.
And scales are pretty easy for little brushes.
They can do dots, man.
They get the
Little
hang of
brushes
this.
can handle it.
Yeah, and you know, natural. They're very, very natural attraction to the fish.
Fish.
They like the goldfishes.
I like the
I
goldfishes
think we all
too.
do.
So here's how I'm doing this. This is a light brush pressure. I don't press down hard.
Oh yeah.
If you were a little brush, your hardest thing is learning to control how hard you press down with your brush. Because the temptation is to push down real hard like this. But you want to press down real lightly like this.
I see.
See how light that is? Just on the tip of the brush. And that's about how hard I press my... See how that bends?
Yeah.
This starts to break my brush. Anytime you press your brush down hard like this, you're breaking your brush.
You're especially
Breaking
on
the filament here at the base of your brush.
Yeah.
You're driving acrylic paint into the brush and you're breaking the filament.
Yeah, so it's not
So it's just best if you can be light. So that's why brushes should be stiff, is so you're not forced to break the brush to push paint into the canvas. So when I have that next layer of orange, I'm going to bring a little more yellow over to my red. And I'm going to make a brighter orange. See that?
Yeah.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I'm going to come under the eye, over the nose a little bit. This is, again, very light. Look how light. Letting what's underneath show. Maybe right here at the eye. And now I'm going to make little dashes. Look at my little dashes. See how they layer up? I'm randomly taking them out. I might leave some of these here. No, I really want this goldfish to be quite gold. Goldy, golden, orangey, goldy. So I'm just making little dashes. And then I'm going to come in and use this on the fins. And also in the eye. You can go ahead and put this base color right inside this eye. Right now. Let's pull the fins. So here's how I get the fin. I'm on the edge of the brush and I'm just pulling down. Bright, filbert, round. You're just going to want to use the tip of the bristles to get this stroke. The edge of the bristles. I'll show you on the palette. See?
Mm-hmm.
Don't press. Lightly. Press, your stroke's going to get too thick. A little bit of that color there.
So
That's fun, isn't it?
Lots of little brushes painting along with us today. Having such a good time. Actually, a couple people were asking, when are we going to see another spider painting?
I don't know, man. He really enjoyed it. He loved spending the day with you guys.
We may have to set up a little brush painting with him a little later on. See if he's up for something like that.
You know, and now Luna thinks she might want to do one.
They can do it together. Have a little brush time.
You know, my daughter's working on some stuff. She's quite a comedian, so I don't know.
Yeah. So you
Coming forward, I'm just flicking these. See, like I'm following the brush stroke that I planned in. So if I curved it, I'm following that. I'm making sure lots of color shows through from underneath. I'm not painting out everything I have.
No.
I'm leaving that there. And I'm going to take a little more of this and very carefully around the eye, go around my dark line.
Now, Ethel was asking.
Hi, Ethel.
Could you use some gold paint with this? 'Cause like
if you would like to use some gold paint with this, but I would only do it on a few scales.
Just touch up?
Yeah, just a touch. It would be really quite a pop, but I would be like, John, we have some. I can show how I would use it.
I can see if I can dig that up.
Yeah. So I'm going to grab some of just my pure cadmium because it's such a powerful color. And right here at the belly, look at this. I'm just dashing. See these crazy patterns? This is the scales. Just at this belly.
So I've got iridescent bronze, fine.
No, I need the gold. The bronze will be too brown. I think it's in the tray table over there by the Groot.
Oh, okay. I'll look here if it's not.
Okay.
If it's not here, I'll get it there.
Up top. Right, coming along here. Dashing. This is so easy. You're almost done.
Ah.
See how that just brightens him up? Look at him, brightening up.
Wow.
Little cadmium, maybe under the eye, around his little eye with some of this bright cadmium.
You got a bunch of nice iridescent colors here.
I do, but most of them are very transparent, and we need the gold fine.
I found the gold.
Okay, cool. Oh, is it the liquid?
Yeah.
I have a tube of it.
Oh, do you?
Heavy body tube too.
Ooh, I'll go look for that. I found that.
Yeah. And I'm going to come in. I'm just going to add a touch of this red to all the fins and everything. It's a pop of color. It makes a big difference. We've only got about 2 more shades to add, except for we're going to now add gold. So 3. I'm just adding this around. See how I've just added that around? I'm going to rinse out my brush. He is nearly done. Okay. That's okay. You can get this in a heavy bodied. This is in a high flow, which is like practically an ink right here. But I would get the heavy bodied for this.
I'll keep looking for that.
Okay. So I'm going to come back and get my, I'm going to go get this purple blue that I mixed earlier. I'm going to come right in the eye, and I'm going to make a dot right here in the center of my eye. And just very carefully outline around the outside. You can outline your fish anywhere you think that you need some definition, that he needs some shape. Use a small brush to get a fine line. I saw it in there earlier today. Caps are falling off. I'm going to sip my... Okay, so you guys see that? I'm going to... It's okay. Just camera. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. There we go. He's like, the gold is the hardest paint to find. I could walk over there and grab it, but then I won't be on camera.
Yeah, that's easy.
It's super easy. I'm sure it's in there. Okay. So the trick is now I'm going to pick a highlight. And this is where the light is coming through the water and hitting your goldfish. This is true of all fish whenever you're painting any scales, whether you're painting them really realistically. This would be like if you're painting a shark or a whale or just anything underwater. There's going to be these very bright reflective areas, right, where you're showing that this fish exists in water. So we're going to find those spots. It's okay. I'll just use what's here because I just go for it and paint. It's okay. Do you have the gold paint? All right, then we're just going to go paint. So I'm going to mix the next color. Yeah, he's ready. I'm making sure my is very, very... Oh, he found it. He rocks. So I'm going to just add a smidge of the orange to the yellow. And I'm going to come right here under the eye. Show a reflection there. Inside the eye, I'm going to paint this very bright yellow. See that? A little bit right here over the top, maybe a little over the head at the eye, at that side of the flank of him. And then I'm going to pick a small kind of little scale structure of this bright color. You can add white if you're having trouble getting coverage. Sometimes yellow can be very transparent. See, I'm just making this small scale reflection.
Yeah.
I'll make another little one here, top of the belly, back the tail, and then I'm going to do one right around the round of the belly where the light is hitting. See how the light's hitting him now?
Yeah.
Have a little bit right there. You're just thinking to yourself, let's put some of that in the tail. I like color to uniformly travel a little bit. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
He's just so pretty. Now, I'm going to get a almost pure white. It's got a little yellow in it, but it's almost a pure white. And in the forward point of the eye, I'm going to make that reflection. Put some right there. Add some bright white. It's got just a tint of yellow to it. You could just do white where it really hits this reflection. Doesn't take a lot. You can, if you want to, dust a little bit in the tail, but I wouldn't do too much. And I'll show you what I would do. I feel like the eye's a little too bright. I'm going to get some just pure cad. My reflection got away from me. There we go.
That's all right. Looks kind of cool.
Because you want his eye to be bright, but not like he got a bunch of coffee and stayed out all night.
Not like he was bit by a radioactive spider.
If you're going to use gold in your painting, don't use it to make something look metallic, because metallic looks like metallic because of all the reflections. Even on this plop of gold paint, you can see the high highlight and the shadow and everything.
Yep.
So if I was painting that, I still wouldn't use just a drop of gold paint. But you can use a little bit of gold in a painting like this. Right? I'm going to add just a smidge. In the same way that I did the highlights, it's going to just catch a little bit of my eye. Believe it or not, it's darker than your white highlight, so don't paint away your white highlight.
Gotcha, yeah.
Right? This is just if you have this.
Just a little touching. Just a little doot.
You could come under the chin here. And here's where it's going to really shine.
The little thin strokies out there, yeah.
By the way, gold is a misery to photograph for social media. So don't expect to get a... You will for sure be writing something like, it's so much prettier in person.
Yeah.
Because it like varnish, like a high gloss varnish, it doesn't like to photograph.
And
however, it is a stunning effect.
And really where it comes from is your eyes are they're spaced apart, so they see things in perspective, and one eye will see the glint of light from the gold metallic flakes, and the other one won't, so it'll cause a glittering effect as it forms, and that's one of the nice things about it. So you really have to have stereo vision to see how.
You really do, but that's how you do it. You do it lightly, you do it respectively. It's time to sign my painting, guys.
We had so much fun today. It was just a lot of... There's just a lot of...
I feel like I should sign it in gold, even though I know it's barely going to show.
Okay, that's okay.
Oh, wait, but I have the ink. Never mind.
Oh.
Look at this.
What is... Okay, was it different?
So the reason that you like the high flow inks is they have the same amount of pigment that the heavy body does, but less body.
Ah.
So you get more pigment in the high flow.
So it's slightly denser.
You get more pigment in the high flow. Yeah, in a sense. All right. So you know I'm going to sign it somewhere weird. I'm going to come here in my gold. This would not be as easy with the heavy body paint.
Right.
It wouldn't flow out nice. So if you're going to sign in gold, be sure to do the high flow. And this is different than acrylic ink. Look at that.
Wow.
And I think it's time to bubble party. Tell you guys to be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. I would like to ask the whole world to just be nice. And play well with each other. And let's bubble party dance this thing on out of here.
Are we using bubble party? We'll get some here. Let me get some kick on our little machine here. and just say thank you, because we've had over almost 500 people join us today. Did you know that? It's been pretty incredible. So thank you guys for all coming out and joining us here today. You know, we really appreciate, we really appreciate all you guys coming and joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, post up your pictures up on, what do you call it, the websites, the Facebooks, there we go, theartsherpa.com.
And we want to see you at the Easel really soon.
All right, guys, bye-bye.